Arthur Beterbiev is an undisputed champion. Holy shit, what a fight this was, ladies and gentlemen. Arthur Beterbiev beats Dmitry Bivol by majority decision. And look, this fight, in my opinion, could have gone either way. Both guys fought their hearts out. It was a technical masterclass from beginning to end. You can just tell these two are two of the best boxers in their weight class. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I really don't think anybody else can compete with these two fighters in Arthur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol. But overall, we know the fight could have gone either way. You know, a lot of people are complaining that Dmitry Bivol lost. They thought that he won. And a lot of people are thinking that, Beterbiev edged it out. I honestly think it should have been a draw. I don't really know where the line could have fallen. I thought in the first 3 rounds, Bivol got the better of Beterbiev. He was more poised. He was pushing the pace a little more. I thought he landed a lot more clinical shots throughout those first 3 rounds. But then after rounds 4 to 8, you just see Beterbiev turn it on. You see his explosiveness start to appear throughout the fight. He's landing vicious right hands, whether it be straight on the chin of Bivol, and he hurt him a little bit throughout that fight. And the thing that happened between rounds 4 and 8, where Beterbiev was a lot more dominant in those rounds, was simply because he kept Bivol on the back foot. Bivol is usually not very comfortable fighting in the back foot. He's more notorious for pushing the pace, feinting, and he hurt Bivol pretty bad a couple of times. And to the point where Bivol's eye, you just see blood around his eye. You see redness appear around his eye. And, he had a hard time. But look, both of these guys are warriors. Towards the end, when we get to rounds 9 to 12, that's where I found where some of those were swing rounds. It was very difficult to see or tell who won those rounds. And that's when you see both guys starting to push more for the win. You see Bivol and Beterbiev going back and forth. And I thought towards the end, that's where we saw more of Bivol rejuvenate throughout the fight. You see Beterbiev starting to slow down, starting to breathe a lot heavier. He's not really used to fighting late in those rounds. Beterbiev has never been into a decision in his life. And Bivol, he's used to this. He's used to going the distance. Once we got to round 10, you see the corner say, hey, to Beterbiev, his corner said, hey, you gotta knock him out. In their opinion, that's where I found a little bit controversial. They said that he needs to knock him out. So they're thinking that Beterbiev was losing the fight. They thought that supposedly he might be down, that he has to get it done. And look, rounds 11 and 12 was just a bloody massacre. Both guys are going back and forth, but I thought in the 11th and 10th round, Bivol had won, and I thought 12 would gone to Beterbiev. That's just how I scored it. So I thought that it should have been a draw, personally, but what we know from here on out is that this fight needs a rematch. These guys are absolute savages, and the fact that the fight was that close for a prestigious title, being an undisputed champion, it deserves an immediate rematch, in my opinion. Look, both guys are both been clinical champions with the belts they've had, whether it be Arthur Beterbiev, they were both undefeated fighters. They were both very dominant. And I think Bivol deserves a rematch. Dude. He fought his heart out just as much as Beterbiev did. They both did great. And I think they should run this fight back. The general public wants to see it. It is the fight to make, in my opinion. But, that's not the only fight I want to talk about. Let's talk about Fabio Wardley versus Frazier Clarke. Look, Fabio Wardley, dude, he's an up-and-coming heavyweight, and he's an absolute savage. He tore up Clarke to pieces. Just the heavy loaded punches, whether it be that right hook, the left hook. But, dude, that right hook that landed on the temple put that boy to bed, man. He shook up his whole mind, and it was scary to see when he fell. Like, I was kind of worried for Clarke. I was like, dude, what just happened? And it's crazy to see because the first fight, it was razor close. Fabio Wardley, credit to him. He came into this fight for the kill, and he got it. Another guy I want to talk about is Chris Eubank Jr., man. He's faced a lot of criticism lately about whether he's going to fight Benn or what's the deal with him? Him turning down Canelo, him turning out these big fights against Hamza Shiraz. And look, he put out a statement. He beat that boy up throughout all those rounds. He dropped him a couple times, and it was just a dominant performance overall. I was really impressed with Chris Eubank Jr. We obviously got the face-off at the end of the fight between him and Benn. You know, both guys want this fight. You know, there was a lot of controversy. First time they were supposed to fight each other after Benn tested positive for clomiphene. It's about time we get this fight. And is Benn still the same guy after popping for those PEDs? Who knows? And Chris Eubank Jr., he's in the latter half of his career. He's 35 years of age. And many people have been wondering, is he there to cash out and milk as much money as he can? Or is he there for legacy? Does he finally want to be a world champion? Look, those are answers that we still need to find out. I hope they finalize this fight as soon as possible. You know, Saudi Arabia has been chunking in a lot of money into boxing, so more than likely we will see this happen. Man, the last thing I want to talk about here, that boy Benn Whitaker. I was so excited to see this man fight. His style is just so entertaining to see. The way he's bopping, weaving, moving like it's a little street fight. Like, he's got that pizzazz in that ring in there. The way he moves, I'm not gonna say it's Ali, but he gives flashes of a dancer, man. He's a pure entertainer. And I was excited to see him fight. You know, he fought a tough dude in Liam Cameron, and look, I thought he was winning the fight. He did. In the beginning, he was pretty dominant. Just the way he was setting up his combinations, putting the pressure, using his jab, and he was very explosive. He was very quick with his hands. You see him going for the body a lot against Liam Cameron. But then once we start getting towards the latter half of the round, and when we get towards the later rounds, we see Liam Cameron start picking it up a little bit. You know, he's landing some heavy shots. You see him just throwing haymakers, and to one point, he caught Benn Whitaker, and he hurt him bad. But just the ending and the way the fight ended is just kind of tragic to see. Both guys were against the ropes in the end of the round. You see Liam Cameron putting it on Benn Whitaker. All of a sudden, the round ends. Both guys get clumsy. I don't know if it was Benn Whitaker that threw him over. I don't know if it was Liam Cameron that leaned on him. But both guys fly over the ropes like it's the WWE Royal Rumble and eliminate each other like it was John Cena versus Batista back in 2006. But after that happened, you just see the fight stop. It ended. And they called it a draw. Yeah. It kind of sucks that it ended that way, but, you know, fighter safety comes first. I understand it. It is what it is, but that's all that happened in that fight. But, look, overall, the Riyadh season event was entertaining. A lot of these fights that we saw left us with a lot of questions and answers and a lot of things we want to see moving forward. All I know is Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev need to run it back ASAP. Benn Whitaker, whether he's going to rematch this Liam Cameron guy or fight someone else, is something we have to see as well. And, yeah, that overall was a great event. That's all I got to say here, guys. Good game, boys. Catch you later. Deuces. I'm out.